It is the final day of the North American ESL Pro League, and there is still chances here for teams to qualify. There is so much action to be had, and today on the main screen, we're going to be starting with INTZ going up against Rogue. And this lineup here, INTZ had such a poor start to their Pro League, but they managed to rebound a little bit, get some wins in there that people may not have expected, and that puts them in a position where they can still qualify for the grand final. Then we move on to Cloud9. They've had roster changes. Yesterday they had to play with their coach. It has not been an easy time for them whatsoever, but it is still possible to make it to the grand finals. And this is a team that season after season, everyone would have expected to see making it to the grand finals. It's do or die for these two teams today. And before we go any further, I think we should have a look and find out exactly what our expert has to say. Pimp is there, ready and waiting, as he appears from behind the screen. Pimp, a real quick one, and let's be honest, right, we've got to look at this in just a very raw detail. Out of these two teams, which one do you think is going to qualify?
I have no doubt that I think it's going to be INTZ. They're in the best position right now. They've been playing some great Counter-Strike as of lately, and they seem to be fired up. They got that Brazilian flair to them as well, so I think we're going to have to see off from Cloud9 this time around.
It is the final day, and me and Pimp are ready to deliver this. But before we get into things, you guys have got to remember that the players at home are playing on the Intel i7s, where you can game, stream, and record without compromise, as they've been doing all season long. And who wouldn't use an Intel i7, right? You're a good streamer yourself.
And I use it.
There we go. See? Pimp knows. You also made your hair. Just in that short little downtime we had, you quickly fixed it up.
Yeah, I mean, it looked horrible, so I figured, you know what, I would try to just look a little bit more pretty than you, James, but I think it's not hard this time around, yeah?
Yeah, it's not that hard, mate.
You're
Come
right,
on.
you're right, yeah.
You're the good-looking Danish man with all the knowledge. I'm just here to fire questions at you and throw my British ways towards you.
You're right about that.
I knew you'd agree. Now we're going to take a look at the NA standings and where we're at, because today is more than important for some of these teams, Pimp. And just take it away, mate, because this has got insanity written all over it.
Yeah, so we got MIBR, Ghost Gaming, Renegades, Team Liquid, and NRG already qualified for the ESL Pro League finals in Odense. There's nothing you can do about that, which means that there's one spot up for gaps, and that is Cloud9, INTZ, E-United, Complexity, that are still technically fighting to go into the finals in Odense. So right now we have a situation where potentially 4 different teams could end up going into the finals, and we're going to find out within the next 2 or 3 hours who that is going to be.
Now, you think that INTZ are going to be able to take down Cloud9, sorry, Rogue today, before I get into it, to skip ahead of Cloud9 there. Now, if that goes down, they're secured, right? That's the dream scenario for them. But they have to get both wins?
They have to get 1 win. I think they have to get 3 points to be sure, maybe even 4 at that point. Not completely sure how it's going to work out. We're obviously going to update the guys and you guys on the stream throughout the night. But I think INTZ have a decent chance of actually taking this series 2-0. So if they do that, they're 100% qualified. And that's going to be, you know, also the death sentence of Rogue, which means that they most likely will be part of the relegation stage. So they have a lot to play for. So it's 2 teams who are very motivated in each their different ways to avoid relegation and hopefully to go to the Odense finals for INTZ.
Well, you're talking about the finals right there. This is the road to Odense, and there is technology galore. There are drones, and I finally have an opportunity to use a drone before we get to the finals. I've waited for this all season, so let me start operating this drone just a little bit here. I'm not too good on it. I'm trying to work it out. Oh, there it comes. Look at my magical little drone. This is the best they could do for me, basically, guys. I wish I could have a real drone. Maybe when we get to the finals, though, I will be given the real drone, because they will actually... I remember last time around, they had them all in the exhibition area, right? So we did get to see a little bit of drone action.
There was a lot of stuff that I have no idea what is and what can do, but you're right. You know, there was a lot of different new aspects to an esports event. That's kind of cool. That's what this Odense final brings. You know, they bring a little bit of technology within the esports world, which obviously also is part of the high technology world. So it's cool to see them trying to implement that as well. And last year, as you said, it was a blast. So I think and expect no less from this year as well.
Denmark leading the way in more than just Counter-Strike technology as well. Yeah, you're just used to it at this point. You just soak it up while it lasts, Pimp.
There's nothing we don't do well, James. Nothing.
Denmark has it all. Pimp is telling you that as well. Now let's take a look at today's schedule and how it's going to play out, because there's a lot of games coming your way. But the game you're going to see here on the mainstream is INTZ going up against Rogue. We've got Dust2 and Inferno as the maps going into it. This is going to be spicy. And we've also, we'll get into our pre-match, but like you were saying right at the beginning, this is such a big deal to both teams. Rogue trying to avoid relegation, INTZ trying to actually qualify. And by the way, look, this is how many games are going on just in general at the moment. Obviously, we have just got the one game on the stream. All the games must go off at the same time, because that kind of hypes us up to say, hey, look, this is where we're going to end. This is who's going to qualify. Yeah,
and it's going to be super, super fun. I expect it, as you said, to be close, especially considering the maps you just mentioned them, Dust2 and Inferno. And if we do want to point the focus towards the Rogue lineup, there's a storyline there that is very interesting as well. MSL coming into the team, replacing Cadian as the in-game leader, so one day in for another. Yeah. And he has a different style of play, and he's a very more... how do you say it? Like, MSL is a guy who really likes to be in control, and he wants the full control over the team. And I think
he's like the puppet master, right? He likes to control all of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it.
And I think he got the freedom to do that in Rogue, and he got like basically whatever he needs and whatever he wants to build up a nice team. Obviously, it's too much to expect now that they're going to go in and bring in the results. But already now we've seen some progress in their lineup. Already now we've seen some progress in their play. So I'm going to be very interesting to see if they can actually avoid the relegation and be here for next season, because I do believe the Rogue is a team that will be a hard task for any team to beat next season.
Yeah, I think given the time, right, there'll be something that can come into play where this all starts to work out quite nicely for them. And this now is our next point and leads on to, we've had a crazy selection of maps from a lot of these teams, more than you might think. So we're going to take a look at the maps played here. Now, Dust2 is creeping up in there. It's starting to take part. Cash and Mirage you expect, but normally you would expect Mirage over Inferno in terms of the amount of times played, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, Inferno, though, it's one of those maps, especially when you have the veto system here, where both teams get a say in the veto. Yeah. It's a middle ground map. Everyone knows how to play Inferno. There's so few teams that have Inferno as the insta-ban. Normally, as you can see in the chart here as well, it's either Nuke, Overpass, or Train, you know, which are 2 or 3 of those very CT-sided maps where people, like, they don't want to go into a map where it's CT-sided, because if you avoid starting on the T side, then you may have a tough task on your head. So it makes sense that Inferno and Mirage is up there. I do agree, though. I mean, it's cool to see Dust2 being more implemented as well. I will say that Nuke, it doesn't really justify where it is in the map pool right now, because we actually do see it being played more at the certain lane events we have around in the world right now. So sort of like a little comeback to Nuke. We don't get to see it in Pro League, obviously, but that's, again, because it's a very CT-sided map, and you want to avoid going into a situation where you go down 12-3 in the first half playing online. It's tough to mentally, you know, fight back with that.
And it's online as well, right? Why would you put a map like Nuke in online where you could kind of jiggle out of some other maps, because it's not going to be the #1 pick for most teams. So we saw a respectable amount of it, Overpass still being quite low. Now, this is what we're going to look at next. Every week, we deliver you some of the top plays from week after week of the North American Pro League, presented by Pay Safeguard. And this time around, we've got week 3 for you to take a look at.
Oh, so far away. I thought he was a banana. Has to throw it now, surely. Get it in there. Something. Oh, it's actually working out. That could be enough.
That's unreal.
He has to go for a repeat here. They still can defuse it, but not if he kills absolutely everyone. That's so sick.
Try and hold position, hold station at B. Krim's great position, sat back, off angle, finds one, drops down, takes Sticko as well. Fnatic finally coming to life on the CT side as Krim sprays into the smoke, finds a 4th. He's looking for the ace, and he might find it because they're low enough on HP. Grabs the AK, needs to simmer down, sees the barrel. That's an ace. That's an ace for Krims.
When they've fallen into a little trap. And Astralis, they always have those backup plans, and they also have Device, the man that lifts the beast as he pops off bed. 3 kills, found 4 kills. Device wants the ace to go this. Oh, Device!
As they try and set a crossfire to the site, Duprino has to get a trade. Great shot on Acadian, and he follows it onto Volda. He's got a chance. that's what it takes for Astralis to finally get something rolling on this half, that would be remarkable in itself. Smokes off Banana. He wants to bait them down, thinking, oh, that's so smart. That is so smart.
It's going to be a 5v5 retake then.
Poison. Oh, actually gets 2.
Ooh, surely
and 3
not.
and 4. Poison. Just destroys them all, Ben.
And I mentioned Major having to use this Molotov, but Bubble will just smoke the bomb. And Poison gets all 5.
Oh.
So that's a fantastic round from him.
That's disgusting from Poison.
Vodafone presents the pre-match.
It's time for that Vodafone pre-match and the last one of the season, Pimp. And this is what it comes down to. Dust2 as the starting map between INTZ and Rogue. And actually, we know MSL, right? This was a map he was quite keen to play into when it first came back into it. Now we actually look at the result side of things, and they're not a shabby team on it. Okay, they haven't played it a massive amount of times, but certainly here, this is good potential, I would say, with Rogue to at least try and flex on INTZ. But we've also seen INTZ. They're no one that would like, oh yeah, we're just going to avoid Dust2. No, they will happily play it, but they've had a bit more of a mixed bag of results.
I would definitely agree. I mean, Rogue is one of the teams in NA that has really adopted this Dust2 map into the map pool. We did see that the Major as well, they actually performed pretty well. Back then was with Cadian, but nothing really changed in that regard. You're right, MSL was not normally a guy who likes to play Dust2. The North team that he was leading for 2 years didn't really fancy to play Dust2, but he sort of like adopted it into the later stages of the North lineup, trying to expand their map pool as well. And that's, you know, some gained experience for him being a caller. But it's good for him that it is the map Dust2, because I do believe that the rest of the Rogue guys know how to play it. Whereas he looks towards INTZ, it's a team that have played a lot of Dust2. Their win rate is not necessarily too scary. I think it's at 44% right now. But if you look at the losses they've had, they lost 16-14 to MIBR, they lost 16-14 to Liquid, and they lost 16-13 to Renegades, all on Dust2.
Strong teams.
That's like top 3 in the league right now, or top 4 in the league right now. So it's not really too scary for them to see them losing that much, as long as it's 16-14 against the best teams in the world on the map. So I wouldn't be too scared if I was INTZ going into this matchup against I wouldn't say weak Rogue, but definitely a Rogue that is still in the building phase with MSL.
And they're also in a building phase in some other way at the same time, because Hiko, he announced recently that he's left Twitch, he's full focus on Counter-Strike. Now, we speak about this man, right, because he had, say, was it 2014, 15, the rise of Hiko, the dominant player. Then he dropped off, then he seemed to focus on streaming, then he's come back into being a player. But we've not seen the Hiko of old really step up and shine so far. So could this be a turning point?
I mean, potentially. I mean, I always, like when I was playing with Spencer as well, he's a cool dude, he's a great teammate. He always does the best for his team when he's there. The problem with him is he didn't seem that motivated. He didn't seem, as you said, you know, he had Twitch, he had a lot of other stuff to take care of. He didn't really have like 100% focus on the game, and you gotta have that in these days where the salaries are so high. There's so many young talents who are playing like 8-10 hours a day. So if you only play 4 hours a day and work on Twitch 4 hours a day as well, like you're gonna lose out at some point. And I think that's what Hiko experienced throughout his career. That said, though, he's a very experienced player. He's a smart guy. He knows his way around. So if he gets back into the game and if he finds that inner motivation that he had back in the days when he was one of those young guys who were playing 10 hours a day, I have no doubt he has the talent to be a great player again. Whatever that's going to happen, I highly doubt it. I think when you reach that age that he's also, you know, focused on the other areas of his life. I know for myself as well. You start to think about, you know, what do I do for the future? What do I do after I'm done playing and all that kind of stuff. So it's sort of like he's in a limbo right now, but now at least he gives himself another chance of getting back to the level he once were at. And there's no doubt if Rogue wants to be a top NA team, they need Hiko back in full shape, and they need MSL to be the in-game leader that he was promised and poised to be when he was playing for North.
And that's the thing, right? This is Rogue, I guess, giving it all in that sense. Like,
they have
let's see if we can make this work. Hiko takes a different bit of a role, and if it doesn't work out, then we need to make changes. That's how we'll look at it. And we know MSL, right? He's not afraid to make them kind of changes if he believes that's what's needed for the greater good of the team.
And I think that is what's needed. I don't believe that this Rogue lineup of these 5 guys is going to consist for more than half a year. I believe that MSL have higher ambitions for this lineup. He should have, otherwise he wouldn't be going there, simple as it is. I think MSL is a guy that easily could lead any top 10 team in the world, even FaZe for that matter, if they were to give him a chance. So him being in Rogue is sort of like a thing where I think it's a lot of potential and it's a good signing by Rogue. Whereas for MSL personally, there needs to happen something, like some changes into the team. He needs to get some stronger players. He needs to get some more, you know, building blocks to build up a good NA team in that regard. But I really admire him for taking on the job, because it's going to be a big task.
Massively.
That said, though, you know, it puts pressure on the Rogue players as well, because who's going to be the guy who wants to be cut or who doesn't want to be cut? It puts all of them, you know, to perform, and that may also be why Hiko, you know, dropped out of Twitch and now is fully focusing on Counter-Strike, because he do know if he doesn't perform in this lineup within 2 or 3 months, then somebody's going to get cut, because MSL and Rogue as an organization should have higher expectations than just a avoiding relegation.
Yeah, no, and I completely agree with that, right? You can only go so far, and if there are pieces that need to be moved around, we see it more than often now. It has to take place. Now, putting these two rosters on a kind of head-to-head basis, right? We know the key fraggers that come out of INTZ, but Rogue in general, they've not like ever I've gone, oh yeah, I really remember that huge Rogue moment where I'm like, they had crushing. They've had some wins, they've done all right, but I would certainly say, even right at the beginning, right, where they didn't have MSL, things were not exactly ideal. There was like confusing rounds, confusing moments where you go, what are you guys doing?
You're right, and I think that's what Cadian did so well when he was at Rogue. He tried to build up a team that played as a team.
Yeah.
A very unorthodox thing to do in NA these days. I mean, there's a lot of individual talent, and the players on Rogue are also skilled when it comes to aiming and all that kind of stuff. But as you said, when you look at the decision-making, when you look at the decisions they take in pressured situations as well, there's sometimes where I think to yourself, how is this dude getting paid this or X amount of dollars to play this game? That's just the way it is in NA sometimes, because the talent is definitely there. They just haven't had the role models that could teach them how to play proper Counter-Strike or how to react in certain situations. And that's what's so cool about all these Europeans going over there. Katie and MSL for that matter, you know, it doesn't only have to be Danes, but also the Brazilian guys, you know, coming into the scene and actually, you know, making an impact on how people look and how people approach the NA Counter-Strike. Because there's no doubt when it comes to aiming and when it comes to individual play, the American players are just as good as the European players, if not even better. But it's when it gets down to those close situations, when it comes down to communication, when it comes down to understanding the game on a little bit of a higher level, that's where they've lagged behind the past few years. We'll say though they're closing out the gap, and it is getting more and more tense, you know, but it is due to the fact that there's a lot of European smart guys coming over and trying to, you know, build up some great teams. Like MSL have a big task ahead from EMEA with Rogue.
Now, times are changing. You definitely think that INTZ are going to walk away with the win here today. We touched on that earlier. But what are your kind of key reasons why you're looking at this? For me personally, I just look at like Phelps, right? He's had game after game where we've just seen him be able to deliver. Even games they're losing, this man is doing everything he can all the time. He's putting up numbers. Perfect. KNG, his style of play has been working. Right? At the beginning of the season, he literally looked kind of irrelevant on this roster in terms of he had a few good games, he was able to frag, but he wasn't a team player. Slowly but surely, we have actually seen INTZ look a little bit more comfortable, I would say. I
definitely agree, and I think you're spot on with mentioning the two individual players in Phelps and KNG. Not to forget the man on the screen right here, Cello. He's a guy who's been stepping up recently as well, a guy that we expected way more from, considering his last performance for Luminosity in the last edition of the Pro League. So what I think is going to be the difference maker in this game is, as you said, the individual star power of this INTZ lineup. I don't see them as a team that plays structured Counter-Strike or plays smart Counter-Strike yet. They obviously play off each other. They are Brazilians as well. They know how to play the game, no doubt, but it's not a team that approached the game the same way MSL wants Rogue to do. And that's where it gets tricky, because I do believe that the individual star power from a guy like Phelps, from a guy like KNG and Cello for that matter, is going to be too much for the guys to handle. They want to approach it in a more strategical way. They want to try to play compact, want to try to trade frag a lot and play off each other, which is a good idea if you have the skill behind it as well. That's why you see Astralis being the best team in the world right now, completely destroying everyone. There may be teams out there you could argue have better individual players than Astralis right now, but the fact that they play as a team and are so compact and composed when it comes into trade fragging, that's what's going to make them good. I know MSL admire that. I know he wants to try to do the same thing with Rogue, and that's also why I said they need some changes in the future, because in order to do that and be good, you need to have some serious star power behind that fragging and trading potential, and I don't see Rogue having that right now going up against a team like INTZ.
And when we come down to it, right, we talk about the map side of things. Do you think the maps make a difference at this point? Like, do you think there was a real way where, okay, Rogue could have gone, hey, look, we won this out of the two maps that we could have chosen. This is our best scenario to work with. Because, like we say, right, MSL is a fantastic in-game leader, but this is still a very new lineup that's been put together in that sense. And it's a completely different style, right? It's not like they can just go, oh, yeah, we can fall back onto this. No, this is like a brand new field to play on.
I would definitely agree. I mean, if I were to argue, I would say that Rogue got the two best potential maps they could have gotten, especially considering they're playing INTZ. Dust2 is a map that they play well. They did it with Casper Cadian when he was on the lineup, and they played, you know, super, super well, played structured, but also had some pace in their play. So they know how to do that. So it should be fairly easy for MSL to come into the lineup and give his ideas to how he wants to play, but also adapt into the way the team was playing Dust2, because they were actually doing fine. Whereas for Inferno, that was also one of the maps they performed on at the major and at the minor qualifier. So for Ghost, for Rogue, it couldn't be better. basically. Whereas for INTZ, I mean, Dust2 is one of those maps they've been a little bit unstable on. They have been losing a lot, but as said, it's 16, 14 games against the top guys from the league, so it should suggest that that's a team that play Dust2 as well. Whereas for Inferno, we've seen that before. They play well. They have Phelps. He's super aggressive. He's super annoying to play against, and I just don't believe that Rogue have the individual star power to shut him down if he's having one of his game. That said, though, if Phelps is not showing up today, then that's all INTZ got. I mean, they have KNG, they have Cello, but those are not players to take over the game on a regular basis like Phelps does. So he needs to be here in some capacity. Otherwise, I do believe the team play from Rogue is going to be enough for them to secure a win or two.
Well, now, this is the thing, right? You're looking at the last 4 matches that INTZ have played. A 2-0 against Complexity looking strong. Okay, the 1-1 against E United, they probably would have ideally walked away with 2-0 there, but the 1-1s against Ghost and Cloud9, that's where things started to really change around for them here, because, like we said, their season started off horribly.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a team that went, I think, 0-8 or 0-6 in the beginning. Yeah. They were facing all the top dogs, though. They're facing the Liquids, they're facing the NRGs, they're facing the Renegades, for that matter. So they had a rough start to the season.
They didn't have an easy start at all. Like, if you're looking down that and go, oh, great, I've got to play against all the heavy hits to start off with, thanks, that's going to make us look pretty poor.
But that's why it's such a cool story, right? Because they managed to turn it around, that they actually kept the head in the game throughout the season. And again, you know, I made the same argument yesterday. For a team like INTZ, this is their major. They don't play anything else of significant. They may qualify for a DreamHack Open or another like Tier 2 or Tier 3 tournament, which is obviously great, you know, for gaining experience and getting to know each other and also getting your name out there. But when it comes to status and when it comes to what matters the most, ESL Pro League should be the main focus. ESL Pro League should be the one that you want to qualify for at every price. That's why I expect them to come in here hot, fired up today. That's why I expect them to be good today, and that's why I expect a big guy like Phelps to step up when it's really needed.
It's really tough as well, though, right? Because both teams, they need this to another level. It's like INTZ, we must win this because we want to qualify. Then you look at Rogue, we must win this to avoid relegation. And the last thing is, for INTZ, like you said, this is everything. They aren't getting all these other events and that come into play. So I know at least for Rogue here, they're like, okay, Rogue's got in a similar situation, but I'd say it means more to INTZ because this is a roster that you are currently, what, the 3rd best Brazilian team? 4th, maybe?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, you're right, and that's what makes this matchup so cool. It would be a little bit shallow. It was only one of the teams that actually had something to play for. Yeah. I would argue, though, that it means just as much to Rogue as it does to INTZ, because it's important for MSL to come over here. Not only does he have to rebuild this Rogue lineup, he has to make sure that they can be a competitive team within the NA scene, but it's going to be super, super tough to make that case if you're not even part of the Pro League, which is the main thing to play here in NA. So it's important as hell that Rogues make sure to get 1 or 2 wins today and avoid that relegation spot. Otherwise, we may see this project of MSL failing even before it begun.
Now, if you were to say new viewers at home or anyone just tuning in for the first time, which 2 players do you think are most important to each roster and why, Pimp?
I think you would have to look at MSL for Rogue and Ricky. MSL being the in-game leader, being the brain of the game, and also a guy who likes to involve himself a lot in the rounds. He likes to go in first as an in-game leader and be very centered around him when they play. So he's very important. Ricky is a guy that I want to see more of now. He got more space now. Yeah. He can definitely play the AVP now that Cadian is gone, and I think he should be the AVP for the team. I do believe MSL still gets it right now, but it's sort of like in the limbo right now. But he's a player that you need to look out for.
Ricky's like these damn Danes. It's like, keep taking my AWP away from me.
And he's pretty solid with it. Whereas if you look towards INTZ, we already touched a little bit upon it, but Phelps has to be the guy that comes in big hitting. And then I want to say Cello. He's a young guy, a fairly new guy to the Brazilian scene as well. He was headhunted to this whole project from Luminosity, and he's doing okay. Last season, he was super, super good. He was one of the guys that we expected way more from this season, but he's slowly but surely picking it up now. So, you know, there's not a better time than to step up when it really matters and when you can secure a spot for the Pro League finals in Odense.
Exactly. When it matters most, and when it matters most, our commentators join us as well. Hugo and Harry back in the building, ready to deliver for your final games.
Doing all right, man. I'm doing good.
Pip, if you've got something to say, you've got something you want to bring up?
You know, I just love to see Harry's face every single day. He's always a smile on his face. And
yeah, no, I love seeing yours as well, man.
Yeah, it's
and
good,
whether that's in the server, on the desk, you know, wherever. I'll take the fight wherever.
Well, I'll leave it up to you, Harry and Hugo, if you want to discuss the performances between Harry and Pimp. It's been quite entertaining outside of the studio.
Well, we did bounce back a little bit, Harry. At least I did. You know, you sadly lost a 1v1 versus the man himself. Yeah, ex-professional player. To be fair, you brought him to 3 maps.
If anything, like could be current professional player.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you know, it was a pretty close affair. In all honesty, I took a map. I'll take it.
Yeah. And then we just went up in a little cheeky 2v2 versus Trace and Henry. We also destroyed them for note.
Yeah. You know, I've lost money today. I've won money today. It's been a good day. You know,
have you been paid?
What?
For winning?
For winning, yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I need to follow up. I need to get those invoices.
I sent Trace my invoice.
Oh, okay.
He paid it very, very quickly.
We're still waiting on Henry right now. I'm sure he'll pick up the pace in a little bit. But either way, we do have this game, Harry. Last couple of maps of Pro League here. This has been a wild ride. We started off over on the EU side of things. We've moved over to NA. Things have definitely been more exciting, or will be more exciting in this last day, as well as obviously a lot of teams are, as mentioned on the desk, trying to avoid relegation, trying to make that top 6. Both these teams in that point, at least. INTZ currently sitting in that top 6, Rogue sitting in the bottom 3, so they both want to get these wins, Harry. It really is coming down to crunch time as we head into the last couple of games of this season. Equal odds over on Betway. And Dust2 to start things off. We got Rogue on the T side, a hell of a lot of utility behind this one.
Yes, indeed. MSL, Ricky, and Hiko. We're going to be picking up a pretty hefty battle utility, all things considered, Hugo. Not too often do we see such a heavy investment in utility, especially not really on a map like Dust2. Maybe looking to try and throw a bit of a fake in. You do have MSL and Hiko with their utility belts over here toward this B-bomb site. The remaining players for Rogue, they're all over here at long, and they're going to double nade stack Zand out of this round already. Now the push comes in, and this has not been telegraphed at all to INTZ until that kill does come in onto KNG. And this leaves Cello and Horby to try and hold back the pushing in Rogue offensive. Ricky's going to get tagged up, and Horby's doing a lot of damage here on this cross. So this round actually could get stolen away from Rogue. It was looking good, but now it's all turned sour. Phelps and Horby left up, and that bomb's dropped out in the open.
Yeah, the deep CT smoke, they don't go for the normal cross smoke, and so INTZ, they're just going to fall back. They don't want to fight from that CT spawn because it's been covered up, so they'll go for that long wrap round through short and long. This could have been a very good round for them, but now retaking up against a man advantage on Rogue, things are going to look tough. Eco's ready with the bait and switch up on long, but he won't follow up with a shot. Ricky drops by Phelps. Nico not going to be able to get the kill in time. Luckily enough, Vice has relieved some of the pressure by dropping Horvey down on short, so Hiko can fall back. He's got his back covered. Phelps has 17 HP, and he's got to pull out a 1v2. It is not happening, Harry. Seems like Rogue are going to be picking up the pistol, and that was such a read as well. They definitely knew what they were doing in terms of double nading that back B box. Phelps has finally realised it is all too, well, late. And even if he gets the kills, it won't make much of a difference. 1-0 to Rogue, and a good start to the map.
Yeah, good start indeed. Sorry, just... There you go, Hugo. Just untangling my wire. Fantastic. Rogue going to be finding themselves the pistol around there. Very back and forth, though. A lot happened in that round. You saw the fake coming over there. Ooh, nade stack here in long doors, but we'll hold our thoughts on the previous round for the time being. It's Hiko to go ahead and open things up here for Rogue. The nade has claimed a life, though. It did tick down Vice. Hiko's trying to pick up the pieces and MSLs here. Now this should just be a clean round from this point onwards for Rogue, and indeed, it looks like it will be. And, you know, it's pretty interesting. These two teams in polar opposite situations. For INTZ, they're the team trying to make it through into that qualification spot, into the Pro League finals in Odense. And over on the side of Rogue, rather, they're trying to dodge elimination here, which is still possible if they manage to pick this up in a 2-0 fashion. And then, you know, we'll be able to see how the other games go down as the night progresses. There's a lot of moving parts here, Hugo.
Yeah, that's the scary thing about this last day, is it's not just dependent on your own results, it's dependent on the other team's results. It depends on which teams go through and which teams split maps, overtimes, all the points matter, Harry. So, yeah, Rogue not only need the 2-0, but they also need some other results to go their way as well in terms of their other teams here in this season. For now, though, seem to be off to a stunning start in the rifle round. Fast long play coming through from Vice, and he's going to find Horvey trying to retreat to the pit. He was blind. Smoke wall down on long. MSL holding the top mid push as INTZ did throw that in the previous round with just pistols, but for now they sit strong on the A site. 3 players here, even giving up B as well. And I mean, I don't really blame them. Look at what they've got. Nothing, no AWP, 2 flashbangs, no kit, and a man disadvantage. They've got to take risks, and the risk for now is give up B, hope Rogue commit with this early aggression, but with them already starting to back out of long, it doesn't look to be too guaranteed.
Yeah, they're already going to be backing away. And there you go. Look at them.
Yeah.
It's like the bunch of ducklings waddling on in through T-spawn. Very majestic, very lovely. And if we have more time, I'd talk to you all about ducks, but we don't. We have to focus on this round, Hugo. They're heading over here toward the B bomb site. And who lies inside of B, I hear you ask? None other than Zand.
I think MSL's throwing utility over on the A site right now. He's really selling the fake. Look at Zand. He's even moved out of that door and gone towards the middle position. The rest of INTZ challenging long, now realizing the error of their ways. Rogue, they're on B.
They're on B without a care in the world. They're already well and truly into this bomb site. If you're INTZ at this point, you're already thinking about saving it. Indeed, they will. They're going to back away. They're going to give this one up. They're going to give a third round the way of Rogue. As we mentioned, these two teams in different spots. INTZ currently sitting in 6th over on the leaderboard. Rogue sitting down in 10th. They are in that relegation spot right now. Not instant relegation, but they're going to have to try and play to keep their space here in the Pro League. That's a terrifying situation to be in. For Rogue, if they manage to go flawless here, they can move up. The teams that they're going to be trying to overtake, none other than Complexity, maybe trying to rise to the likes of United or Cloud9, but the one that they can really go toe-to-toe with is that Complexity team. And they're playing right now versus MIBR in a 2-map series. So if they go 0-2 there, Complexity could be the team to drop on down into this relegation spot. Which, when you consider, the hype around them at the major, how excited everyone was there, it's quite an underwhelming performance for those guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think Pimp was talking about this yesterday on the desk. He was saying, like, Complexity have been underwhelming this season. It's been a team that we kind of wanted to see in the Pro League finals. They should be making it in top 6, but I mean, realistically, Harry, I don't think that's going to happen at this point. We've got to wait and see for sure, but Rogue right now, they're running and gunning, and they're doing it in the B site as well. INTZ, 2 players here. It's an early play, but the nades are so good. Taking down Sick already. And that's how he's going to be there to respond, but Zan is still holding strong at the back of the site, and he's found himself another couple of kills to add on to that nade frag. Finally, trades coming through, and Rogue have just split mid and decimated the opposition. There's only one man left up. He's at the top of middle, and Rogue have the B bomb site.
Yeah, it's all eyes on Horvey. 1v2, UMP in hand, and a little bit of time to work with. He's now got the M4. Doesn't have a kit, though. Has a smoke to try and nullify one of these positions. With these, with this crossfire set up between the two Rogue Boy, this should really feel impossible. And even then, you don't even need to see Ricky peek on out from the back of the bomb site, because Vice is able to win the duel, and that will be Rogue moving up 4-0 here. Hugo. They're getting off to a good start. Throwing spanners in the works. You should never put a spanner in the works.
Why?
Because it's going to break it.
What other works?
Like gears. I imagine. The intricacies of a machine, Hugo.
Maybe you want to place a spanner in the gears, not throw it.
Exactly.
Not a good idea.
If you're careful with your spanners, if you're careful with your toolboxes, you'll be fine.
Look at this double cap play. The Molotov's going to push Horvey forward. He's completely bailed out to dry. Sick is going to find that frag, and Cello just smoked it, which would have allowed Horvey to move back into short, but unfortunately the timing wasn't there, and Rogue pushed ahead of the smoke, so that's an early kill coming through. Luckily enough, there is Phelps here with that secondary AWP to find the trade. Taking down MSL. Rogue slowing down the pace after losing another man and bringing it back into a 4-on-4 as Cello decides to re-aggress. He goes right down short. Got to be careful because Vice is down in lower tunnels and he can get an angle if he steps on top on that box to see Cello's head. Won't be taking too much of a risk. For now, as the rest of Rogue congregate down on long, Vice is going to be playing that either mid-rotation, catching the B players leaving that site, or jumping up on Cat to try and assist his team taking A. So Cello, he plays a crucial role here. He cannot afford to peel back without taking this kill onto Vice. Otherwise, at KNG, he's going to get completely pincered.
Well, right now, at least, they haven't started to push up through short. Instead, it's Vice creeping on in toward middle, so this does at least give KNG a bit more room to breathe, although Vice is certainly going to make things feel claustrophobic now. Phelps and KNG able to win their fights, and they're going to win absolutely everything. So it was looking like Rogue could have found something there. The pieces were in place. It was all looking good, Hugo. But INTZ, they've knocked down their house of cards, and now they found that first round.
The problem was with that is INTZ just went for a gamble rotate, right? I'm not sure what information led them to believe that, but Phelps went off of mid and went to join KNG on that A site. He was playing down low in CT elevator. And Rogue, while having loads of utility, they instead opted to creep up long. And the problem there is INTZ has 2 AWPs on the site. And so you're creeping up into AWPs when you don't have the cross smoke. So Rogue kind of walked into a pretty powerful setup from INTZ. So a nice call on the rotate there from the Brazilians, and it will win them their first round. They've just got to be careful that they don't get reset coming into number 6, because Rogue, they've got the money for another buy up. They've got the AWP on MSL. We know he can use this from his tenure in North. Rogue this time, they're going to be gifted Cat. INTZ do still have that AAA setup, but they've got deep long control this time. They've got that AWP from KNG down on the car. Great position to watch short from. Cello up on the site, throwing in utility, doing a good bit of damage as well. Rogue looking like they want to take A, and they're going to do it fast. Or it looked like it.
Yeah, I mean, they've fooled you there, Hugo. They've slowed right down. They've applied the brakes.
They've got some spanners stuck in their work.
I'll stick a spanner in your work, so if you...
Oh, I'm calling it HR.
Yeah. They're an E for the... No. Where are they? I don't know. Here we go. Cello, I thought they were. Cello, whoa, look at him go. 3 quick kills, Hugo. And now MSL, he's in a position to trade at the very least. Comes in a little bit too late. KNG going to get picked off from afar. MSL continuing his success with this AWP. Bomb planted, and Zand and Phelps left up trying to retake this bomb site, but they're not moving all too much. They're hoping that someone from Rogue maybe gives something up somewhere, and they're not. They're just sitting pretty inside of the bomb site, but now INTZ slowly but surely creeping on in. MSL going to keep on putting up numbers, his third in this round, and he's not done just yet. He's got to go absolutely insane, and MSL keeps on finding frags. How's he managed this? One off for the ace, and he might have to ace it. Well, they might get away with acing it. Instead, Hiko's going to steal it, Hugo. Steals the ace.
You'd much rather that as well, though, because if he didn't get that kill right there, the bomb's going to kill MSL on the site and lose that AWP. So, you know, the glory of having an ace is always nice, but actually keeping the gun is going to be more valuable. And a valiant attempt from Cello to actually hold the bomb site. It's just MSL goes above and beyond. We did say he can use that AWP, Harry. What a perfect display of marksmanship from the Danish IGL of this roster. And now, INTZ, what are they doing? They're forcing together. They've got nothing left, Harry. They've been reset, so they've got to go for this one. M4, 4 pistols, desperation calling here as Rogue sit 5-1 up. If they win this round, they're going to be 7-1 before you even know it.
What that flash is picture perfect. KNG is allowed to stay alive for the time being. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe speak too soon there as he gets burnt out over in mid. MSL able to shut him down. What a performance he's having right now, by the way. 8 frags to his name, 4 of them coming from that previous round, to doubling his kills almost in one. Actually going over double. And now Rogue, they have themselves the man advantage. The pressure's been eased off just a little bit, and they're going to turn their attention over here toward the B bomb site. Right now, there are 2 players here, more starting to rotate round. INTZ kind of hedging their bets, going for a bit more of a gamble toward this B bomb site. But we still need to see Zand and Phelps hold their own and hold things down for just a little bit, buy some time for these rotations. You can already see INTZ, they're not looking too convinced. Phelps has a lot to do here, and only a PT50 to get it done with, leaving Cello and Horvey in the hot seat. And in a 2v4 with the only weapons remaining now for INTZ, they might just look to try and save.
And Rogue still have 4 smokes for this post plant and a Molotov. That's going to make this impossible, even if INTZ did have the weaponry to go for this round. So, yeah, they've got to give it up, because Rogue are just going to keep re-smoking the door. Cello already looking for a bit of a rotation. Try to catch a Rogue player on the hunt, but they're playing things fairly safe, knowing that they don't actually have any money, because Rogue, these rounds have been coming down close despite them winning it. They are getting a lot of kills, though. They are keeping INTZ in a very similar situation, not having money to fall back on. Quite the problem here with only Cello saving that solo M4 into this round. That's a positive, but the negative is Rogue is 6-1 up, and now they're going to be going up against an anti-eco.
Yeah, and a tactical timeout called on in from INTZ, Hugo. Yeah, maybe just like me, they're feeling a little sorry right now.
Smelling like disaster, Harry. One round on the CT side. This is not a good start.
No, it definitely isn't. It definitely is not. And for INTZ, you know, we're speaking about this being like the chance for redemption for Rogue, but likewise for these guys, this is a must-win series in that sense as well, right? They want to try and secure their spot at the Pro League finals. It's all on the line for them. So these wins become just as important for this team now.
Yeah, and I wouldn't expect this team to be in the top 6, being completely realistic, talking about INTZ, right? Like, with some of the teams here, I think Complexity definitely should have been in that spot. So INTZ already being in top 6 right now is a surprise. And the fact that they could solidify it by taking a win versus Rogue, which, okay, being real, Rogue is definitely not one of the best teams in this this league. So on paper, this is like a really good matchup for INTZ. This is their chance to solidify a 2-0, take that victory, go to Pro League finals, and when many wouldn't expect them to. So it's a bit of a kick in the face if they go down this way.
So I think all the possible outcomes, doing the maths myself here.
Yeah, this is always dangerous doing
but you know, INTZ, they could qualify, right? But then we also speak about Rogue. They can move up out of relegation. Complexity could end up down there if they go 0-2. And Rogue managed to win these two maps now. One that we haven't really spoken about is United could actually rise up and snatch a 6th place if they 2-0 their series. Cloud9 playing versus NRG. If they go 0-2 and if INTZ go 0-2 and then United manage to 2-0 Luminosity, then they would be the team to secure that Odense spot. Sorry,
I like that. I think United have been a really interesting team to watch recently. We saw them at Chicago. That was
well, I tell you what, you know, if you want a bit of an update, Hugo, they're currently 7-0 up versus Luminosity in that series. They're yet to drop a round, so that's something that we can keep an eye on as well as this develops. But
this is not a Brazilian day, is it, Harry?
It's really not looking that way, is it? Rogue up 7-1 now as well here on Dust.
7-1. Oof. Scoreline update for you as well. I was thinking that's not the game, but NRG 7-2 up against Cloud9 right now, so that's quite interesting to see.
Yeah, like we said, there's a lot of moving parts. We're going to try and keep you guys informed as best we can. Also, MIBR currently 9-1 up versus the likes of Complexity. But keep an eye on this round. Zad, he's found himself a quick double, but double trouble. More players coming his way, and he's going to go ahead and boil and bubble those guys down as he goes ahead and picks himself up a 3rd. So this round is already looking all said and done for Rogue. It's only 2nd MSL left up. That said, we have seen the Brazilian boys find 3 in MSL. Left in one of these almost clutch situations. Was able to lock in that round, if you recall, where he picked up 4 with the AWP. Oh, not going to have the AWP this time. Instead throws it over onto Sick, and he will fall short in that battle. Sick is there to bail him out at the very least and get that trade, but now a 1v4 required and an ace needed if Sick wants to pick this round up.
Yeah, Zand really has been the light at the end of the B tunnel right now. Not the only round that he's been able to put up a numerous amount of kills. That's Sick. From Sick. He throws the AWP on top of the box so INTZ can't save it because they don't actually have an AWP themselves. They've only just been able to go for this buy, Harry. So that's actually a hugely important detail. Sick being realistic and not expecting himself to win the round, and that's fair enough. You're in a 1v4 anyway. You're low. KNG going to finish it off, and now hunting for the gun. They can't find the AWP. That's nice. There's not many spots on Dust2 that you can actually do that. It's kind of hard to throw it out the map when you're in middle, so bit of ingenuity from Sick to keep the money being a problem for INTZ. Back to rifles for them, and same story for Rogue, except with the AWP in their hands as well. Not playing off of any spawns, just taking that tunnel control and holding down middle to make sure INTZ don't challenge or don't try and push up. This is Rogue's portion of the map for now, and they've thrown that Xbox smoke to allow them to push up on Cat as well. KNG plays the back of the A site, and he's going to call for a bit of support. Cello moving back from long, because Rogue haven't really put pressure on long, unless it's been the early round. They've taken immediate control off the spawn, but other than that, they've been pretty reluctant to even go towards this part of the map.
Oh, creeping up through short KNG here. Hiding away. Flash goes in for him and doesn't peek on the back of it. Instead, just electing to hold his ground right now. Going to go ahead and steer well clear of the AWP of MSL up on short.
He got blinded by his own team flash. That's why he didn't go aggressive.
There you go, Hugo. Noticing the little things. MSL. Ooh, they boosted up. He does spot the head, but Cello is there and able to go ahead and find a man advantage for INTZ. Sick to try and do what he can to trade things back, but Zan now dropping the man out from tunnels, and another Sick gonna get bested. It is just Hiko, the daddy of Rogue, left up at a 1v3. Flash rains on through, and that does allow Cello to take a quick peek and get into this bomb site, but he's gonna get team flashed, and that there could lead to the demise of INTZ in this round, but no. They managed to fight it, Hugo. They lock in this third. They retake that B bomb site in the 3v1, only losing Cello, and are able to hold the AWP heading forward into the next.
Yeah, Zan just continuing to be a pillar. Not really the most well-known Brazilian player by any means, but he has just been holding his own on that B bomb site. Rogue, they're probably going to start avoiding it with him finding his form in this map. Rogue have a couple of guns now, but it's going to be some limitations. Galil's on 3, no AWP as well. We haven't really seen that find any success since that one round that MSL even got 4 kills. But look at this push from Phelps. There's no one watching mid because Rogue don't have that AWP, so Phelps is able to push early into that lower B tunnel. There's only Vice here playing default. Will he check the spot? Even if he does, it's going to be a bit of a surprise. Phelps is going to move up, but Vice is ready for it. He gets the frag. Rogue now a man up, and they do look towards that long position, but after finding that kill in lower tunnel, they start to reconsider. Because, of course, with the player pushing to lower tunnel, it's more common that you're going to see an ace stack. And so Rogue don't want to walk into anything too crazy, and they slow down the pace. They allow INTZ to readjust the setup and go back towards a double B, and that means just Horvey hung out to dry on long. He gets one, flashes there. He goes in with a trade. Cello's got to try and pick up the pieces of this round, but he's got 3 players on long to deal with.
Oh, flashes rain on over. They're not going to blind him though, and Cello is allowed to take this initial fight. There's the flash, and lots of damage done regardless, in spite of the fact that he's blind. KNG and Zand remaining here. 2 versus 3. That bomb's going to go ahead and get across. And now, Vice over here on short. That's the easiest kill of his life, only leaving KNG in the hot seat. 1v3 required, and well, the money for INTZ not looking that great right now. They might just opt to try and hold on to this so often. In fact, they will. He's going to go ahead and tuck and tail out of this round. Of course, big reminder for Rogue, as we've kind of been hyping up, there's a chance for them to get themselves out of that relegation spot. Bottom 3 teams. Bottom team, straight relegated down to MDL. 2 teams above that, they have to go ahead and play versus the, it's like, what, 2nd and 3rd teams in MDL? I always actually forget
so the bottom team swaps with the top of MDL, and the other 2... I imagine it's the same for this season. I haven't actually looked at the relegation yet. I'm not sure how much has been announced, but going off of previous seasons, they usually play... That's how they usually do it, right?
And look, we can see the other game that we're meant to be keeping an eye on, Hugo, is NRG versus Cloud9. 10-3 right now in favor of NRG. Cloud9 are the team, by the way, that INTZ are trying to stay ahead of. Trying to keep their head above water and stay in that 6th place slot, securing their spot at the Pro League finals in Odense. Quick play out through long from MSL as he goes barreling on in. Quickly, man down in the pit. That's going to be Cello, and there is a man down in the pit. Quickly, KNG is able to go ahead and trade things back. And there are still players here hidden in the smoke. That's Horvey lying in wait, but he's not going to spot anything anytime soon. And for Rogue, they will just be backing away. Now I'm going to go ahead and enter a Mountain Dew league of my own. Just cracking one of those open. Hugo?
Stop drinking beer or broadcast. I'm joking.
You're not.
It's cider. Fast B play here for Rogue, but look at INTZ. They've read this like a book. There's one player pushed all the way to the top and middle, so they've got a triple stack. But KNG is the only man needed. 2 frags off the AWP. 3 in the round, and Ricky's now all that stands here between INTZ and a 4th. Might be able to catch this angle, but Phelps is so close. Even though he's 26 HP, Ricky's going to have a tough time moving out into this bomb site. I like this angle, but as soon as the molly goes, Phelps has the option to push. Oh, it's so close. Molly keeps KNG out. Ricky gets spots Phelps, sorry. Now he's got to be aware of the backline, and because they triple stack B, he should expect a flank, but he doesn't. Horvey spams away. Little bit messy, but he gets the job done regardless. 4 rounds now taken here from the Brazilians. Starting to find some more success in these last couple, but even so, Rogue is still off to a stunning start. Harry, what I'm kind of interested as well is the game Envy Renegades going on right now, because Renegades are playing from Australia, so they're going to have like 786 ping.
Yeah, they were 9-0 down until just moments ago.
9-3 right now. 2 Envy.
That's a fun game because they're playing versus Nifty. Kind of a sad one for me personally to look
Well, yeah,
at.
Envy have already been guaranteed that relegation spot, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely have. Actually, no. No, I say that. If Luminosity lose both their games and Envy 2-0, they get more points. So there's always a chance. The Luminosity currently getting beaten down right now.
So many moving parts today, Hugo. There's so much fun stuff that could happen. So be sure to keep your eye on this stream. We will keep you updated with all the good storylines, all the bad storylines, and everything in between. Hugo heading into this round. Rogue, they've already pushed up through long. That bomb's going down. It's Ricky punching in the numbers. In the back line, though, Cello, he's just an orchestra of death as he shuts down absolutely everything. Ricky and Vice left up, and he's got a lot to do. Players all around him, and Ricky, well, he might be so fine. It's going to be his mind getting blown out by KNG. Now Vice left up in a 1v5, and that bomb is ticking on down. He's just got to back away. He's got to give this up, and it will be INTZ finding themselves a 5th round.
I understand he's saving for the fact that, okay, well, we don't have any money, we don't have any guns, we kind of want something coming into that next round, and it's already lost, but he definitely could have gone for some damage there and try and take some rifles away. We are at the late stages of the half. So damage could have gone a long way, but not the end of the world. He does at least bring a rifle into the 14th. And they get loss bonus from it as well, so realistically it's not too bad here for Rogue. They buy pistols around this, they don't invest too heavily because they want that full buy for round number 15. 10-5, probably out the window by this point, but a 9-6 certainly still possible. This should be INTZ finding 6 unless Vice can find some serious headshots down on this B-bomb site. He goes ahead of the molly into another molly. Not a fan personally, but it catches out Zand, and there's no one here to actually stop him. So he's in the B site, and KNG's all that remains. Diving through the window, getting the frag as Phelps through the door. 6 going to find the trade, and they all jump up into the hands of Phelps. 2 more for him, adding to the kill tally as Cello comes in on the flank. And just like that, Rogue are going to be torn apart on the B-bomb site. Only pistols on 4. So nothing too crazy here for INTZ, but they get it done. And now we have that final bite for the final round of the half.
It had to be, yeah. You think about how one-sided this half was looking originally for Rogue.
7-1.
Yeah, they were 7-1 up. Now they sit 8-6.
That's maths.
That is maths, Hugo. Here's some more maths for you.
Yeah.
One man down here in the tunnels, walking forward at 255 units per second. Edging his way along. I can't think of a way to turn this into a good maths question, so we're just going to dodge this topic and move back into the game, Hugo.
Elegant.
Up here on short, Sick is here, thank you. Sick is here. Ricky, by the way, donning the Krieg, looking to try and maybe click on a head or two. I don't know. I don't know what his...
I think that's the intention, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what his motive is.
Murder. He's only got 3 kills here. He was a player that pinpointed out to be maybe a man to watch in this game. That's a bit of a slow start for Ricky. Oh, they almost lined up. KNG's going to not find the shot as a flash comes through and he falls back to the site. Rogue giving up on Cat. They flash into middle instead, and they could go for this B split considering INTZ is so committed to long with 3 players here that they're not going to have anyone to rotate. It really falls onto Phelps and Zand, but these 2 players have been holding their own on this part of the map constantly. Ricky coming in from the top. Players in the door as well. 39 seconds. Zand's already been spotted, and he holds his own, finding that first kill. Can't double it, but he does a good bit of damage and softens up some targets.
Oh, but Horvey... He's going to go ahead and drop out. Hiko now leaving Ricky and MSL in this 2-on-3. MSL is going to hide himself away, try and shrink himself down into this little cubby hole, and throws out that one flash. Ricky watching the tunnels, has to come up trumps here, and they're just walking to his crosshair first. Man falls. There's another man there, though, and he's going to go blow for blow with him, tagging up Cello. MSL wins his fight, and Ricky able to go ahead and shut down the other man. That there is a 9-6 half in favor of Rogue. But a fantastic comeback from INTZ. They were 7-1 down at one point in time. So they do a good job at least of getting back into this game and making it possible. Let's not forget, there's a lot on the line between these 2 teams. For Rogue, they're trying to dodge relegation. Or INTZ, meanwhile, they're trying to lock in that coveted spot at the Pro League finals in Odense later on next month. And of course, We can even try and do a quick little update for the other streams for you. We can see Cloud9 versus NRG, currently 13-4. The reason why we're keeping up with that game there is because Cloud9, they're the team that INTZ are trying to keep away from. They're the ones who could challenge for that Pro League final spot. Meanwhile, ESCA, Hugo, we have to go ahead and talk about them as well. 128 tick servers, all the best stuff. Play.esca.net if you want to head over to that and go ahead and play on the same servers as the pros. And also, if you think maybe you could join the pros, shout out to the MDL League, esca.net/MDL. You can take a look at the content, the schedules there, the teams challenging for these regulation spots, for the chance to get into the Pro League. Heading to the second half, though, Hugo.
I love the MDL League, Harry.
Yeah.
The Mountain Dew League.
The Man D League.
Everyone's
the Man D League
favorite.
squared.
Just when one league wasn't enough.
We've doubled down on the leagues this time around. MDL 2. And yeah, you know, we'll quickly go ahead and run over some of the other scores, maybe just very, very quickly. Hugo, MB currently 11-5 up versus Renegades over on Cash. Liquid 6-8 up on Inferno. Complexity 12-5 over on Mirage versus MIBR. So we're back into this one. Oh wait, United versus Luminosity 12-1 over on Overpass. We're back into the piss around the Hugo. KNG's up 3 short. He's going to go pushing on in. There's players down at the cross. He's rushing into the bomb site. He has tagged up. MSL finishes him off. Phelps is there with another. And now it is just Sick, Hiko, and Ricky left up. 3v5.
Take a deep breath after all of that.
There was a lot. There was a lot. Hope everyone heard all that.
Yeah, I had no idea what you were saying.
Me
6 rounds, going to be 7 unless Rogue can find this retake here with only 3 players left up. Great flashbang. Cello's blind, but KNG is not. He turned around. Cello peeks out again. And INTZ will be able to convert it. Not a problem there on short. 7 now. Back in this game, Harry, it was, as you said, a dominant start for Rogue. INTZ brought it back, but now they've gone one step further. Winning the pistol is going to put them in a very good spot. And now, while Rogue are buying here, which could, of course, mean they have a very good chance of winning this round, if INTZ win this buy round, they are going to have an extra eco to deal with from Rogue before they have rifles. So, yeah, we could be seeing an even Steven scoreline in just a couple. Sick, though. Can he defend B? He's got 1 SMG here, and he is completely alone. Got a teammate already coming through, but Zan's blind. Oh, Zan's blind. Sick gets away with it. Horby jumping through with the SMG. Ricky can't stop this madness as he's tagged up through the door. Flashes through. He won't connect the shot. But Rogue, they're definitely going to give this at least a bit of consideration on the retake. It's winnable. Don't know why Ricky is boosting up someone who doesn't have a scout. That doesn't make a lot of... Oh, he does. No, MSL's down lower. I feel like you want to boost up the scout there, but nah, Rogue lose a couple of players. Now they're going to fall back. Unfortunate thing is, Cello, he's on the hunt.
He is, and he's going to hear these footsteps, so he knows exactly what's going on. He knows where they've ran off with these guns. Up into the hills, Hugo stashing it away in their goblin caves, a Rogue. You ever been to a goblin cave, Hugo?
We don't talk about the goblin caves, Harry.
No?
No.
Why not? What happened in the goblin cave?
I don't know. I don't know. That's why I don't talk about it.
Oh. Just don't feel qualified enough.
No.
Well.
Not informed. Oh my god. Run boost out on long to try and kill Ricky in the pit. Oh, he jumps. Careful, Ricky. You're going to get an early haircut. You need that hair for the winter. You're not in Australia anymore, mate. 9-8 here for Rogue, though. Still holding that lead, but not for long. This is INTZ nipping at their heels. And with no real buy into this round other than the saved scouts, we should be seeing INTZ finding their 9th.
And here's the first going on toward this B-bomb site. Sick over on the car. He's already dead. Everyone's dead. This round's over. Never mind. It's done. You know, if you're like me, maybe in celebration, just throw a can of Mountain Dew around. But 9-9, all tied up, Hugo. This was 7-1 in favor of the boys on Rogue at one point in time. Now they see it all tied up, and we can take a look. That first map between Cloud9 and NRG, it's already over.
Boom.
16-4 in favor of NRG. So for now, INTZ maybe, you know, they stop sweating a little bit. They can take solace in the fact that Cloud9, the team that was really kind of right on their heels to try and steal that Pro League spot, sorry, the Pro League final spot away, has at least lost their first map. But here comes the push in through long. And INTZ with 4 players in this position, barreling on out. Rogue, it's trying to pull a few players away.
I don't think they can start to calm down though, Harry, because United 13-2
Exactly,
up against
that's the
Luminosity. If INTZ get 2-0'd and United win both their games, they steal the spot, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, no, INTZ, the pressure is not off. Just one of the two opposition that could be stealing away their spot is gone. Here's the A push. Vice with the nade over. Hiko going to spray through the smoke. Lots of damage done by Vice, but he's going to go down to Phelps. Hiko's still standing here in the elevator, but not for long. The Molotovs are in. The peak is there over the top, and Phelps is muscling his way to victory here on the T side. And this is what we expect from INTZ. Strong T sides. This is what has got them to this position already in Pro League. This 6th spot in the current season. And right now, they are looking to go above and beyond. Rogue yet to get around on the second half. And yet to get a kill in this round. 6 going to drop on that B bomb site. Not going to be able to save. There's 3 players already there. And just like that, INTZ up to double digits, taking their 10th.
Well, I think, we can take a look at the Betway odds. Here you go, Rogue. It was pretty even at the start of this map, but now everyone leading the way of INTZ. So the confidence is behind the Brazilian boys right now, and I think justifiably so. Rogue, they've managed to win 2 out of the last 11 rounds. Everything else going the way of INTZ. Certainly not the dream scenario for them. This round as well, not too likely to go ahead and give them that much more confidence.
But look at Rogue on that B site. They're playing for info. They're pushed in, trying to take control of the tunnels. Problem is, INTZ coming right back there. So Rogue getting information that, okay, it should be an A play, guys. Tunnels is clear. And now they're going to start running. Now INTZ are going to just rally into this B bomb site. Sick gets 1. Can he get any more to no? Zan, still the master of the tunnels. And just like that, INTZ, they are all over B.
MSL. Ooh, he might have just made something happen, though. He's dropped 1 more into a 2-on-2, and that was the bomb as well. Now he's been given a little bit of time to go ahead and pick up an AK. Grouping up with Vice and Cello, just missing the time and a peek on into them. Horvy's up through mid, but the issue is if they don't peek into this properly, if they give these series of one-on-ones away a Rogue, maybe something's possible, but it is just Vice left up. He's alone, he's scared, and he's got to try and see his team through. There's 20 seconds on this clock, and Vice going to get tested. He hasn't done his homework, and he's been failed. Horvy, class is in session, and it's going to be 11-9 now in favor of the Brazilians.
Yeah, Rogue have spent this entire second half in detention. In the meantime, some other Brazilians are having some more success as well. MIBR 16-5 in complexity over on their matchup, so that's a pretty important game for complexity. Not as much for MIBR. I'm pretty sure already guaranteed their spot at Odense.
Yeah, they're first in the league right now.
Nice. Fast play down through long though. Phelps is already in the pit. And there are rifles here. Well, there were rifles here. Phelps just rips MSL's head off. I think that was the AWP as well. Already gone, just like that. Not how you want to be starting off another rifle round, considering INTZ have been flawless on the T side. Vice going to get aggressive, but if he doesn't check the spot, Zan is going to have the angle. So many positions for Vice to check, so he'll bail for now. This T side still up on long with the cross smoke going down. Rogue, they shouldn't, I mean, they're going to struggle if they play for retake here, because not only they're man down, but they haven't got a kit on this A site. Sorry, they do, it's on Vice instead, but even so, going to allow these crossing players to make their way to the site and then see what they can make of this round. But right now, things are looking very good for the T side. Oh, the bomb!
Hiko, there's a smoke and a car in the way. How's he managed this? He's shooting through everything. Phelps is up on the bomb site, at least trying to turn the tide of battle back in favor of INTZ, but Hiko tagging him down once again. He has been the star in this round. Flashed out into CT, but players on either side, and that will be the end of Phelps. Rogue 10-11, keeping this close as ever.
What a round, though. What a ridiculous round. I mean, that was required by Rogue. They needed that round, or this could have completely fallen apart. And talking of falling apart, Harry, Luminosity getting 16-2 by E United.
Yeah,
we're having some quick games today.
Envy just 16-6 Renegades as well. So everything's getting ticked off of our list right now. Here for the first maps in all these series is the second. They'll start when all these first maps are all said and done. That's right. We're making the pros wait for you folks at home. You know, They're the ones doing the work now. Hugo. Cello creeping on in through short. Gonna have KNG with him. They've teamed up. They're looking to bag some bodies together down here in mid. Flash Ricky over here in middle. And he won't spot anything just yet, holding this passively. That nade could do some decent damage over here onto the mounted Xbox. Cello gonna take the brunt of it, but even then, it's not all too much. And silence falls across the land right now, but this push about to come in toward the B bomb site. Looks like they're gonna try and split in through middle, but Vice might have just called all that into question. As he peeks on into Phelps, Cello and Zan doing what they can, and that's looking like more than enough. Vice. MSL to beat him to the mark. 3-on-3, this is certainly possible for Rogue. That bomb's going to go down, and they're looking like they want to try and get very quickly into this bomb site. The only issue is they're going to get absolutely decimated. It's Hiko, who had a great round in the previous, left up at a 1v3.
MSL realized he had to go for a crazy play there. He had to find a couple of kills into that bomb site, and he got flashed in, but unfortunately both INTZ players were looking away. Now it is just on Hiko, but Dinked already. Horvey now ready for contact. And Zan's got the angle from the tunnel, so that just makes things almost impossible here for Hiko. I think he realizes it. Having to fall back, having to give away a round to INTZ, and that's a reset, Harry. After Rogue winning their first CT round with only a couple of players surviving, they get broken straight back by the Brazilians. Up to 12 here on the T side, and no money now for Rogue. They get $1,400 on the loss bonus with one saved gun. That is far from what you would want right now if you're Rogue. This is how the game can easily fall out of your clutches. Just look at how much money INTZ have. This is really in control of them.
Yeah, I mean, INTZ are very much in the driving seat here, and they know it. Instantly resetting onto Rogue. It's a pretty dismal spot to be in here for the American-Danish roster. Horvey going to catch a nade to the chin, but he's rushed on by it. Nice sitting at the car, but I mean, Rogue, their chances of redemption, their shot of redemption rather, is fleeting here. They have to have this force buy prevail. And they're looking to try and find something over here on short. That's where they have MSL and Hiko right now. Oh, Vice. Things heat up for him. Things get a little uncomfortably hot, and he's not cut out for the heat. He's going to go ahead and get dropped. Now continuing to push on in. There's one man inside of this bomb site. That's MSL. Does have support from Hiko, and actually he's going to bait their attention away. Zan going to get discovered and dealt with by the man at the helm. This Rogue roster tapped down. That's going to be Hiko, but MSL in with another. This CZ putting in the work right now. He's only got 9 bullets left.
Yeah, boost timing wasn't great there for Rogue. The smoke ran out right as they went for the boost. So as soon as Hiko gets killed, his gun drops to sick. Maybe an opportunity, but then the smoke fades and INTZ just kill him from car. So timing not being the best there for Rogue. INTZ up to 13 here on the T side. Most of the games have now been completed, Harry. There's only Liquid Ghost still running, and that's 11-9 for Ghost. Timeout here for INTZ. Being careful, which is a good decision. Don't want to rush too aggressively into things, considering that Rogue are definitely close behind, although the city side has not been close by any means of the word. It's been one round to Rogue. And that's at 7 now to INTZ here on the T side, so pretty damn effective. 7-1 on the second half, and now Rogue, it's probably going to be 8-1. They're down to pistols, couple of P250s, that's going to be it. Stack up on long, but in these kind of rounds, if you don't stack 5 together, you're going to have a very hard-pressed time of finding anything. Phelps, he's just been having a real baller game right now, and he's going to continue that in middle. Taking down one, nade does damage to Vice, who's stuck on the other side of this smoke. Phelps up for an angle. Oh, there it is. Doesn't spot the feet, but instead here's a USP spam, and just like that, it's Sick alone. He's already been surrounded. They're in the B site. Xander's walked in through the tunnel. Phelps is coming in from the door, and it won't be too much longer before they find him.
INTZ 14-10, and their T-sides have become a bit of a staple for the Brazilian team this season. And they're living up to that fact here on Dust2. It took them a while to get the old engine started, you know. They didn't exactly hit the ground running, Hugo. They were 7-1 down, as we say. But since then, you look at it, and everything's gone the way of the Brazilian squad right now. Zan going to go pushing on in over here toward Long. He's quick on his feet. He's already out. Oh, everyone's blinded. It's all chaos, and there's a man down in pit. But I'm not sure he's entirely aware. Vice is holding as well, and he wasn't able to spot out Zan. This could be a blessing or a curse here for INTZ, and only time will tell which it is. Ooh, Zan gets caught on blue. 2 men down right now for INTZ, and this is the worst spot we've seen them in quite some time. Again, and now look to try and hit this B-bomb site. Pushing on in at Cello, Horby, and KNG doing what they can, but there should be absolutely no way. There's still Ricky here, hidden, biding his time, peeking on in now, and he's gonna go ahead and spray down absolutely everybody. It's KNG left up in a 1v3, and right now the B-bomb site stands for Brazilian. This is where he's here alone. Gonna try and take that fight, but Vice spots the barrel, shuts him down, and that will be Rogue locking in 11th.
Yeah, the barrel of the orb giving away his position there where he when he went for the sneak peek in through the door. Plenty of time for Vice to react, and INTZ finally going to be giving away another round. It took some time, but some heroics coming out from Rogue to pick it up. MSL now has that AWP, something we've been waiting for in the second half. And I remember the first time he brought it up, he just got one tap by Phelps in the pit. So now we finally got a chance for Rogue to potentially get back into this game, Harry. A real shot. Not much utility behind this buy though for Rogue. They've already expended the vast majority of it. Just one Molotov and two nades left with a couple of kits. Big impact from Ricky as well in the previous round. He had 6 kills coming into that one, but was able to find both INTZ players pushing into that B-bomb site with rifles. So pretty important impact from him. Keeps Rogue in this game, but can they convert it? Can they find anything off the back of it? Because it will all be in vain if INTZ win this follow-up round and reset them for 15. It'll break the money of Rogue, who already don't have anything in the bank. And INTZ look to try and end this one down on the B-bomb site, going for that fast push with Phelps splitting middle. Sick and Ricky here to hold the line.
Oh, well, one prong of this B play has been shut down over in mid. Now it resides to the rest of the boys, and they do check on 6. Ricky gonna get dropped as well as Cello is there, an instrument of death. I'm going to go down an INTZ. It was looking like it could have been a bit of a problematic round for them, but now instead it could be the pivotal round of this game, as they will be picking up a 15th. The reset comes into Rogue. That's why they're backing away and not even getting a sniff into this B-bomb site, because if they lose these rifles now, they've got nothing into the next, and that's match point to INTZ, 15-11, winning the last 14. Oh, sorry, the last 13. No, 14, I was right. The last 14 out of 16 rounds.
The reason INTZ double hard checked that corner in the B-bomb site is because Ricky threw a flashbang to allow Vice to take the fight onto Phelps in middle, and he got the kill with the flashbang helping as well, but Ricky threw it from there, and they were already deep in tunnels, so INTZ actually spotted the trajectory of the flashbang and knew Ricky was in the corner as a result, so pretty unfortunate timing. And because he didn't have a teammate peeking with him, his other teammate in B was actually in the doorway helping Vice find the frag into middle. So no one to actually spot and go, okay, they know you're in this corner. They are pushing B. They've got 4 players in tunnels. So yeah, stars aligning there for INTZ. It's going to open up the B site, open up the chance of taking this game here and now, Harry. 15-11. Rogue, AWP, SMG, couple of rifles and a pistol. Good nade usage though. We'll soften up some targets down on long.
Yeah, Horby's been brought down a little bit, down to 50 HP, and that does open him up. Yeah, used and abused a bit by Rogue. But INTZ, they know the implications of that previous round and what that's going to mean for the Rogue economy. They know they're not going to have all the bells and whistles, and if they just wait, if they force out this utility from Rogue, if they leave them doubting, they might get desperate, might try and make a play elsewhere. They're going to go walking into Hiko, and this time he's only good for one. He's been pretty consistent, able to put up a couple of numbers whenever Rogue have needed to him in the last few rounds, but this time he falls short almost immediately. Now into the 4-on-4, that's one of the 3 rifles that Rogue had into this round stripped away from them. MSL, sneaky as ever, in through lower tunnels, does catch Zand off guard at the very least. Now it falls to Phelps to try and get the trade.
They know he's here, though. Phelps is ready for an MSL posted down on lower, and Phelps is going to be able to find him. Problem is, he's now alone, and yeah, not for long. He gets sent to the graveyard as well. Team ace for Rogue. Everyone putting in the impact into that round, keeping them in this game. And that was so important considering the buy coming into that one for Rogue, and as you said, only having 2 rifles and an AWP. So 12 to 15, this game is not done just yet, and Rogue finally calling out their first tactical timeout. Probably a bit late into the game, I would say, but better late than never, Harry.
Exactly, Hugo. They're going to have a couple of seconds here to have a sit down and compose themselves, make sure everyone's on the same page, right? Because at this point in time, the comeback is very much possible. You can get yourself through to an overtime. The only issue for Rogue is for them to actually move up. We didn't really factor overtimes into it all too much, but gonna go ahead and move into a technical timeout now.
TeamSpeak just crashed for someone.
Always good.
So, yeah, just waiting for that to come
Always
back
the
up.
case, isn't it?
Never had a TeamSpeak problem in my entire life.
No, me either.
Online CS is full of them.
That's one thing I will say, right? Like, that is always the case. I've never had anything really break, like...
Ever.
Maybe like if it's like, oh, his whole PC's broken, that's fair enough, right? That can happen. But I've never had like a TeamSpeak break.
When my PC was really dodgy, when I had like a loose graphics card, when I just remember this funny clip. Someone put it on YouTube ages ago, like 2 years ago. We won, like, one of my teammates won like a 1v4, and I like cheered and I hit my desk really hard with my fist, and my entire PC just shut off. Yeah, that was quite funny. So maybe that happened, who knows? But we're back into it, Harry. 15 to 12 for INTZ, and they just want to end this now. They don't want to wait any more time. They're just going to rush the B bomb site. It's only Ricky here committed. Six going to be at the back of the site, but he's been smoked off, having to jump above and beyond, and that's exactly where he goes with 2 frags, making a third. Sick is sick on this B bomb site, and he's the only reason the Rogue is still standing right now.
The sole reason, but not the sole survivor. That title goes to Horvey. The only man left inside of this B bomb site now going to have Phelps here to join him. And these rotations from Rogue, they've been incredibly slow. They will finally be knocking on the door of INTZ. And be sure to keep your eyes on Hiko. No armor, though, on MSL or Hiko in this round.
They won the eco, didn't they? Wait, no. I don't even know. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's happened here.
Maybe it's a UI thing.
Yeah, it might be a UI thing. But only time will tell. Let's see if Aim Punch plays into this. The push coming on through now. Rogue barreling in, but Hiko's been dropped, as has MSL. It's Vice versus Horvey, and Horvey's going to land the shot. That's INTZ winning out this map. They do manage to best the Rogue squadron. It's INTZ 16 to 12 here on Dust2. The Brazilians got off to a slow start, but in the end it was plain sailing. And that will be that. Now also we've... still got that Liquid Ghost game going on, but both those teams are already qualified. We want to go ahead and take a look at some Liquid, though. We want some Liquid love in our life. We're going to take a little recap of the IEM Chicago Grand Finals.
Intel Extreme Masters Chicago 2018 has seen 16 teams take to the fray in the hopes of taking home the trophy, and now it's all come down to the last 2. The crowd favorites Team Liquid would be taking on the world #1 Astralis in a best-of-5 series, a grueling task at hand for the North Americans. Team Liquid's map pick Mirage was the first destination, and it showed through Liquid's early lead.
Thinking about it. Oh my god! Doesn't doesn't even take the peek, just drops him through the box.
Astralis are no strangers to comebacks though, and they managed to take home the last round of regulation time with a 16-14 win. The Danish superstars had chosen Nuke as their map of choice, and it's no secret that the Danes are well versed on this industrial map.
Very hard to deal with. And Sip will drop him. Triple for him on the other side, and a 6-1 lead now.
Despite trailing in the early rounds, Nitro led the way for Team Liquid with flashy op shots. Continuing into the next round with even more op shots and claiming round 10 in style.
It's out, he's gonna get it! He stabs Magis! No more ball, oh, the follow-up! Nitro has come alive!
Astralis did take control though and claimed Nuke.
Worth it, let's just not even do it. They're just too good on it. 16-7 Astralis.
Next stop, Inferno. This map has been hotly contested throughout the tournament, and Team Liquid took the first few rounds.
Liquid win the pistol.
He somehow spins and gets that. Oh no, Liquid gets so lucky.
My God, I mean, if he picks up one more kill with the P250,
it might be all over.
Yeah, that could have slowed it all down.
Astralis did break away from Team Liquid with some solid defense.
Getting caught completely now. Free wants to bring it back, and he's going to be so ready.
And the Danes kept up their pace on the T side.
Go for one more. Nice little flick over from Dupree.
In the end, Astralis closed out Inferno 16-4.
But they're going to be out of time. I think he's going to get it, but nothing else left. 16-14.
Securing their IEM Chicago 2018 championship title with a convincing win.
I feel amazing. I feel like it has been so much ups and downs at this event, and can't believe that we're standing here with the trophy in the end. I couldn't have dreamed of anything more than this, because this was really tough for us to get to this trophy. Some of our events we have been winning like pretty huge, but this time around it was really tough, so I'm really happy. But there's no doubt this is the Astralis era, that's all I can say.
Chicago, your INTZ